अनन्वस्थूलमर्हस्वम् अधीर्घमजमाव्ययम् अरूपगुणवर्णाख्यम् तद्ब्रह्मेत्यवधारयेत्। अनन्वस्थूलमर्हस्वम् अदीर्घमजमव्ययम् अरूपगुणवर्णाख्यम् तद्ब्रह्मेत्यवधारयेत्। Tadbrahmetyavadharayet, avadharayet. You got to realize that to be Brahman, what is it? Ananvas asthula. It is not too subtle, neither it is gross. Arhasvam, adhirgam. It is not short, nor it is long. Ajam. It is without birth. Avyayam. It is without change. It is without form, attributes, color, and name. Arupa gunavarnakyam tad brahmetyavadharayet.
Hari Om, everybody. Hari Om, everybody. Due to some technical issue, suddenly the Zoom transmission got disconnected. We are trying to reconnect back, and possibly in a few seconds or less than a minute, we should be back. Please bear with us. Hari Om.
Hariom, can you all hear me? Is it all clear? Okay. But I only, others are still frozen for me. Rishi, could you please
Guruji,
speak?
Guruji, shall we try that you become the host and I'll be the co-host? Probably it'll sort out.
No, I think we have had internet issues. Our internet was down this morning. It had got activated again. It's out. So I'm actually on my mobile network. So it may not support because everybody else is frozen, Hariji. You're the only one I could actually see your video. Everybody else is frozen actually.
I think everybody is, I mean, on my video, I can see everybody.
Yeah, because from my end, I think the transmission is not happening as quick. So there is this. So should I switch off my video and say, how does that help?
Guruji, you would like, we have no problem, but you would like to be seen and see people. So,
Yeah.
well, let's keep it at that.
But because,
let's go ahead. Shall we, some of us will switch off our videos so that at least some people will be available. If you want, for a start, we'll switch off my video.
okay.
Does that help that couple of more get?
Right.
You know, now some people have switched off their videos. Is it improving your position?
I don't know whether you all can hear me. If some of you can actually take to the chat box and just.
We can hear you, Guruji.
You can hear me? Okay, perfect. All right, GB Giragaru also can hear us. Looks like GB Giragaru somewhere is in 6th heaven or 7th heaven, somewhere in the clouds he is. So I really want to know, where are you, GB Giragaru?
I'm in Dehradun.
Sir, how can you leave me and go on your own? Idantha tappu, sir.
We'll go together next time.
That is next time you'll remember me. That's why I'm saying this. Because we can see the mountains and the clouds behind you. So wonderful. I'm glad. Glad. Right.
So nice.
Thank you. So nice. Namaskar.
Nice.
So yes, sir. Just I would request even Vaidyanathan ji, if you could kindly switch off your video, perhaps it would help me. So, all right. So as some of you have said that the audio is clear. All right. So I don't know where you lost me earlier. The 60th verse where he says, realize that to be Brahman, which is neither subtle nor gross, not short nor long. It's without birth or change. It's without form, nor attributes, nor color and name. Now, he's saying Brahman is none of this. Now, why is Brahman none of this? Is because Brahman is nothing terrestrial. Only something which is of a terrestrial can be explained. Language can explain only that which is terrestrial. But language cannot explain that which is transcendental. So you can very easily say that transcendental is inexpressible. You can't express it. You can't communicate it. Because there is no reference point by which you can actually communicate the self. You cannot communicate the self. You can't understand because it has no reference point. It is not, in fact, to be very clear, he says, transcendental is that which has no guna, has no quality, has no kriya, has no function, has no name, has no nama, has no qualification or vishesha, nor sambandha, nor relationship. The 5 things. So you may want to write down the 5 things, which is not applicable to Brahman. It's only applicable to anything terrestrial. Since it fits into the terrestrial, terrestrial can be explained or described. Now, all of this doesn't fit into the transcendental. Therefore, we can't understand. We can't explain. Now, what are the 5 things? First is guna, which is quality. The second is kriya, which is function. The third is nama, which is a name. The fourth is a vishesha, which is a qualification. And the fifth is a sambandha, which is a relationship. So none of this, if you carefully analyze, will not fit into Brahman. So language breaks to describe that which has none of these qualities. So the moment you say subtle, you say it's not gross. The moment you say it's long, it's not short. The moment you say it doesn't have birth and death, it is not subject to the change, because we understand Brahman is the changeless substratum. And then again, he says it's a formless. How can you understand anything without a form? Something without an attribute, something without a quality. Your intellect cannot understand, which is, moment you say formless, it is all pervading. So you can't understand. So without form, without attributes, without a color, without a name. So you got to realize Brahman, which is none of this. And all through your life's transactions, you are dealing with a name, a quality, an attribute, a vishesha, and your relationship with all of this. And suddenly when you want to get to Brahman, which has none of these qualities, none of these descriptions, it becomes very difficult. But he's only trying to tell that the true nature of what Brahman is. As Vaidyanathanji is saying, yes, it is. Brahman is beyond the comprehension of the intellect. It is beyond the capacity of the mind to feel. And also it is beyond, means you can't bring down God to mere perception, or you can't make it a gross, tangible thing where you perceive it. So it's not there. Kriya here refers to the function. You can say the function which is subjected through change, which is the birth and death, the various operations, the functionality of matter. It doesn't exist. Brahman doesn't go through change, isn't it? So you can understand that way, the function, there is no functioning. It doesn't do anything. It just exists. It is that, it's like electricity, as we say, it is there. It is that enlivening power, enlivening source. It's that which gives vitality. It's like the sun. You may say, sir, what, the sun is a very boring life. It doesn't do anything. But in its presence, everything is happening. Everything shuts down. The entire plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the human kingdom, everything ceases to function when the sun sets, isn't it? The moment the sun rises, even in the belief and the faith that the sun would rise, every kingdom is, the Sattvic people are up and ready. The animal kingdom is up and getting ready, and they already started their activities. So it is the sun, which is the vitality. In fact, the next mantra is actually going to draw a parallel to the luminosity of the sun. So sun may not do anything, but it vitalizes everything. In that sense, the consciousness doesn't do anything, but yet it is responsible for everything to function. In that sense, the kriya, the operation, the function, but it doesn't do anything. So the function aspect is not applicable to the self. Just like activity is not attributed to the sun, whether it could be a, it's like you are standing in a balcony and you see a procession of a marriage procession go by. An hour later, you see a funeral procession go by. Now I come and ask you, have you got anything to do with the processions which passed by now? You say, sir, I have nothing to do with it. I just sat in the balcony and I just saw these two contrasting experience. So you are just a mere witness, upadrashta. Upadrashta means a witness. It just stands there and livens everything to happen. So that's what you got to understand, but we got to realize that to be God. And since it's not a substance, he says, it's not subjected to change, it doesn't go through birth, it doesn't go through death, it is imperishable, so on and so forth. So he's talking from an absolute standpoint. Okay, so I hope you all are clear. In fact, the difficulty doesn't arise from an absolute standpoint. The difficulty doesn't arise because you don't understand. All the difficulty comes from a relative standpoint. Just how do I apply it? How do I live it? How do I relate to it? How do I make it as abhyasa? So to sit in a philosophical classroom and philosophize and simply let your thoughts run wild and high is very easy, because at the end of the day, you are where you are. Nothing has changed. Your svabhava remains, your vasanas remain, your ignorance remains, but yet we're all spoken high-flown philosophy. So the attempt here is to ensure that it becomes a abhyasa, it becomes a sadhana, it becomes an applied philosophy. That is where the challenge comes, and that's where you will find difficulty understanding. So never mind, I just had to do, because the verse is there. I spoke. How much you understand, don't understand, that's not my problem. Because if you ask me, I also have not understood. I also spoke many words I don't understand. So we are all in the same platform, All right. Okay, let's move on.